And that is Texas A&M. They're one of the 6 remaining unbeatens in college football at 7-0. Props to Mike Elko. I think they're the most accommodating undefeated team left in college football because they'll play you however you have to play.
Right.
You want to play a rock fight like Auburn? We'll find a way. You want to go shoot out like Notre Dame and now Arkansas? We'll find a way. That's a credit to it. That's a team that's got some guts to it. And look, Bobby Petrino's, that was a 2-hour weather delay they had to wait through on the road
in Fayetteville.
Well, but it just throws your clock off.
Sure.
Either way, they went out. That was not a championship level effort defensively, and they won the game by 3.
And that's the issue, real quick, Key. We talked about it before. This isn't Le'Veon Moss being out. That wasn't the main issue for them. It's the defense.
Yeah,
Le'Veon Moss is their bell cow, but the defense couldn't stop.
Right. So they've got issues too. But I'll say the same thing to the Aggies fans that the Longhorn fans will say, and it's fair.
Yeah.
You play like that, you're going to lose some games down the stretch.
Sure are.
And that's where Texas is. But then there were just 6 falling from the ranks of the unbeaten in our college football blitz, brought to you by Apple Leasing, online at appleleasing.com. Miami. Carson Beck threw not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 interceptions Friday night in a home loss to Louisville. That was one of my picks to click. I took Louisville in the points, but they won it outright because that's what Jeff Brom does. Can I say one thing and by the way, Carson Beck, after 4 picks, threw his receiver under the bus for running the wrong route instead of taking accountability.
No, it's actually his
4.
fault. Yeah, that's why we lost, not the 4 picks.
But Jeff Brom, can we call him the Grim Reaper almost to Halloween now? He did it again. Jeff Brom has won 4 straight times over top 5 opponents. Incredible stat for giving the talent gap he's dealing with. Perhaps no coach does more with less than he was at Purdue. He had Purdue in the Big Ten championship game.
Yes, he did.
3 years ago. And now he's doing good work at Louisville. Hey, Penn State, might want to call Jeff Brom. Hey, Florida, who's now fired Billy Napier, might want to call Jeff Brom. Just saying. I remember he was a player, real good player, quarterback at Louisville. Also falling from the ranks of the unbeaten Texas Tech. And up until Saturday had not even been challenged in the Big 12. I think their closest game was 24. Well, all of a sudden, they're down 22-10 at Arizona State. Joey McGuire's Red Raiders rally for 15 fourth-quarter points, take a 22-19 lead. Looks like they're going to survive. But Sam Levitt and the Sun Devils went right back down the field, scored to win at 26-22. Red Raiders fall to 6-1. That one's going to sting. They kind of didn't show up for 3 quarters, came alive with 15 fourth-quarter points, and then couldn't stop them. There's a big pass interference call, and that's they're still – Arizona State now controls the Big 12. Because they both, Texas, they have one loss in Big 12 play. Because Mississippi State, the Mississippi State beat Arizona State, but that was non-con. They beat Utah last week, Arizona State, so they only have the one Big 12 loss, and they're in control now, and they've beaten the Red Raiders.
And BYU
they beat Utah.
Won against Utah in the Holy War. They're undefeated.
So Kenny Dillingham's got his team, Red Raiders, it's kind of like Miami. Miami... You think, well, they can just get back to the ACC championship game and get in, but they don't control that destiny. Georgia Tech is still one of the 6 undefeateds. They beat Duke on Saturday. They and Virginia are both undefeated in ACC play.
Virginia quietly sitting there.
I would also say Ole Miss no longer unbeaten, despite, how about this for Lane Kiffin, who's now apparently all the big money at Florida wants Lane Kiffin when they fired Billy Napier. And they came in, and Billy Napier won his last game on his way out. How often does that happen? You win your last game at home, and then you get whacked. That's the way that goes. But they want Lane Kiffin, apparently. But they walk into Athens. They score touchdowns on their first 5 possessions and lost.
Yeah.
Say that out loud, Lane Kiffin. And they lost because, Stabby, you've heard this before, Kirby Smart and his team found a way to win. The Dogs' defense, which doesn't look like a vintage Dogs defense by any stretch, they gave up 35 points through 3 quarters. But in the fourth quarter, when it's winning time, they allowed 13 yards, total 0 points, and their offense went out and put 17 up. And they won 43-35. They're 6-1. They're 4-1 in the SEC. Ole Miss falls from the ranks of the unbeaten, but they're still in a pretty good place in the SEC. And we'll see if, maybe the distraction of Lane Kiffin, does he want Florida? Does Florida want him? We saw Kurt Cignetti get a massive contract, at Indiana after Penn State whacked James Franklin. So we'll see with the Lane Kiffin situation. Memphis also lost on Saturday to UAB, who just fired their coach as well. So the fired coaches bounce. Penn State was not so fortunate because they lost at Iowa by a point with their new head coach.
Yeah, that was close to there.
After James Franklin did the interview on College Game Day.
Despite having a blocked 66-yard field goal to the house going into halftime. 6
unbeatens, 2 in the Big Ten. Ohio State, Indiana. There's 1 in each of these conferences. American Conference has Navy. Took the week off. Big 12, BYU, won the Holy War. ACC with Haynes King, Georgia Tech. And the SEC with the Texas A&M Fighting Aggies who will play you anyway, anyhow. And Mike Elko's team. This kid, Marcel Reed, man, he had 5 touchdowns accounted for. He also had a couple taken off the board by holding calls.
Yep.
He had a huge night.
He's gained a lot of confidence.
And now Arkansas can score on anybody, but they can't stop anybody, so that's to their benefit. I would also say huge wins for Alabama. They took down Tennessee 37-20. That week 1 loss to Florida State's been completely erased. They have won 4 straight games over top 15 teams. And Ty Simpson might be the front runner for the Heisman Trophy now. Another guy that's back into the conversation for the Heisman Trophy is Jeremiah Love at Notre Dame, I think. I know, Fernando Mendoza at Indiana is going to be in that, but you see what the dominant duo of Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price did in a rainy night in South Bend to USC. Those two, the running backs, Love and Price combined for 315 rushing yards, 46 receiving yards, and a 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown in a 10-point victory. In the rain, they went to the ground. And we told you all last week Notre Dame's advantage was through the air with C.J. Carr because of the leaky pass defense the USC has. Well, it was raining, so they really couldn't go there. Give Marcus Freeman's team. They had those 2 early losses, A&M and Miami, but they've rebounded, and now they control their destiny. They'll be double-digit favorites the rest of the way after getting through USC.
Yeah, you got to win the rest of your games to get in, right? And that was the big one.
Check out their schedule now, though.
Yeah. North Carolina State not moving the needle for me.
And I know but we said with the Louisville game, because people said you were talking about putting Miami in the championship. I still think Miami has a chance to be in the tournament, but we told you Louisville has the best defense in the ACC.
They do. Don't
sleep on it. And Carson Beck's going to give you one of those games every month, it seems like, in college football, and he threw 4 picks, including a late picks when they had a chance to go tie the game or win the game.
And Georgia Tech and Miami don't play each other.
I know.
And we're sitting here
you
looking.
Could have a Georgia Tech Virginia ACC championship game. SMU got a big win too, I thought, going to Clemson and winning and continuing the hurt for Dabo Swinney.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick's team fumbled away a chance at a win at Cal. That continues to spiral out of control.
Again, they lost.
So yeah, there's some college football conversation. 6 unbeatens. The ACC, the Big 12, kind of upside down right now, and Alabama, probably the class of the SEC. 4 straight wins, and then give Vanderbilt props. I picked them to win it. That was another pick to click. Vanderbilt and Diego Pavia, they're not a fluke. They'll be in Austin here in about 2 weeks, the day after Halloween.
They look like a better team than Texas right now.
Oh, by a lot. By a lot. Now, the Texas defense will do a better job of corralling Pavia than I think the LSU defense did, but LSU was a top 10 unit. Now, Whit Weeks wasn't playing, their best player on defense, the linebacker, and Diego Pavia made play after play. This is what he does. They scored 35 points, 34 points.
Yep.
They were great. And, they're a rightful top 10 team. Their one loss was on the road to Alabama.
Wow.
And so, Vandy, the real deal. I think A&M's the real deal. I think Georgia's the real deal. And those teams are still on the Longhorn schedule. So, a 5-2 start can be a 7-5 finish real fast.
Top 10, and they deserve it. Top 10 team right there. With I think they're now the 10th is what they are ranked.
Vandy,
the Commodores.
I think that's the first time since,
isn't that
1970?
And well deserving of it.
I mean, that's awesome for what Clark Lee has built there in Nashville.
And they got game day going there.
Good for them. What do they get this week? Missouri? No, who do they play?
Missouri
this weekend, because Missouri survived Auburn.
Right.
And Hugh Freeze might be another coach about to be whacked in the SEC.
They just can't put together a win.
Well, and that's
they're close, but no cigar.
And the fans might put up with losing to Georgia at home after having a 10-point lead and the bad officiating, but you can't then lose to Missouri. And I'm not saying Coach Drinkwitz is doing a bad job there, but that's just not the brand you're supposed to lose to if you're Auburn. Okay.